Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick little video today giving you a major tip on how to clean your bearing. So I've seen a lot of discussion online and there doesn't really seem to be a consensus on the best way to clean your bearing. And in reality, there is no best way to clean your bearing. There's all sorts of different methods you can use. So in this video, I'm going to cover one major tip that I think will help everybody. Now, I'm not actually going to go over the process and do it on camera for you guys because it's pretty self-explanatory, and if you're into this kind of stuff, you've watched all the videos, you've seen everybody clean their bearing and show you using toothpaste and all different types of solvents to get the lint and dust out of your bearing and make it nice and dry and spin really fast. So there's no point in me going over that with you. I think it's a little bit redundant, and I'm sure you don't want to waste time watching another video on that. So let me get right to the point. My major tip here centers around drying your bearing. Now, most people, what do? They clean their bearing using some sort of solvent, usually isopropyl alcohol, and to dry it off, they'll take a can of compressed air and blast the bearing with it in order to spin it really fast, and thinking that air will evaporate all of the solvent really quickly off the bearing. Now, in most cases, that does work, but what you need to consider is the fact that cold air will get that metal, it'll get the races, the inner and the outer races of your bearing, they will also become cold. Now, what does cold metal with moist, relatively warm air around it tend to do? We get condensation. So when you have that thin layer of condensation forming on either the ball bearings themselves or the races, then that just creates a scenario where rust can develop, and you don't want rust. Any form of abrasion inside there that the ball bearings rub up against, any extra friction will slow your bearing down and make it less smooth, and overall it just won't feel as good. So the whole point of this video is to tell you guys, use a blow dryer, use a hair dryer, use any sort of warm air that you can get when you are drying your bearing. It's better to do so rather than to use cold compressed air that it'll essentially take whatever residual water or solvent there's left in there, and it'll blast it into a whole bunch of tiny beads of water, which essentially condense all around in there, and it makes it stick to the inside of these surfaces. And when you start spinning it after, what happens is that it spreads itself around everywhere in that bearing, and you get rust start to develop, right? Iron oxide. So to summarize one more time, use hot air when you're drying your bearings. This will make it much less likely for any rust to form in there. You'll have a better time overall. Another quick thing I wanted to mention is that you need to be careful, because a lot of bearings, none of these in front of me here right now have it, but a lot of bearings have the inner cage that holds the balls in place, like the spinetic bearing has. A lot of bearings have one that's made out of plastic or some type of plastic as the inner cage there. So you have to be careful what solvent you're going to use. There's all sorts of different solvents that people consider when cleaning their bearings. The most common is isopropyl alcohol, but there's all sorts of things, ranging from brake cleaner, carb cleaner, acetone, what else, parts cleaner, paint thinner. There's all sorts of different solvents that people use, so you got to just take that into consideration when you're about to clean your bearing. Make sure you're not going to melt any plastic parts if they are in there. Okay, thanks for sticking around, guys. I just have one quick question. Can you help me out here? So if you check out this, let's slow it down for you. You can see the inner race on my bearing wobbles a lot back and forth on this spinetic. Do you see how unstable it looks? So to the naked eye, I can see it shaking back and forth as the whole thing spins, and if I get it to sync up with the frame rate on camera, you can see it kind of wobbling like that. I've done nothing but treat this spinner with care. I've never dropped it, I've never done anything bad to it, so I was just hoping if anyone has any tips, what might I have to do to fix this bearing. If it's gone for good, I need to get a new one. I mean, gone for good, it still works, it works perfectly fine, but the damn thing wobbles. It makes the whole spinner wobble. You can't really see it here on camera, but the spinner, it does like this saucer effect as it's spinning on the table, and it's just it's not pleasant to hear when it's spinning on the table like that. So yeah, if anyone has any tips, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.